Yeah, we're live. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So I'm Sherry Rothwell, and this is Beth Martins. And we are excited to bring you here this morning because this is our very first New Moon Circle for the Inner Circle, for the Femme-Preneur Love Inner Circle. And the reason we wanted to put this together for you is to allow you to have an opportunity every single month to come together with women, even if you live in a community where you're not able to get to a circle, if you live rurally. There's this opportunity to come together with other women and to go down into the focus of what you want to create in the next 4 weeks moving forward. Because a lot of times when women learn about the moon cycles, it's really inspiring to them, and they really want to make it happen in their life, to actually either have a moon circle or to just make that day sacred and to do the visioning that they know that you can feel it inside of you when we go into the new moon. It's dark. You want to go more inside, become more introverted. But there's also this aspect of us that feels more like we want to connect with women. So we often don't get to have this opportunity in today's culture because it's pretty, it's alternative to come together with women for the new moon. But actually, it's just something that we all have a knowing inside of us that is important for us as women. When we are in tune with the natural cycles, then we bleed during the new moon, and that itself causes us to come centered back to the question of what is working in my life and what's not working. And so this is an opportunity to every single month look at those things and then look at what your actual intentions are and goals for the next 4 weeks. So we're not working on the masculine linear calendar where the month starts on the first of every month. We're actually following the moon cycle. So right now you can think of this is the beginning of the next cycle. Today is. So we wanted to do this for you to keep you on track with that, knowing that you always have this to come to remind you to actually do that inner work. So what we're going to do every single new moon cycle is to get together like this on Google Hangout, and we have a flow for each session, and it's going to be the same every single time so you know exactly what to expect. And so we're going to begin with a reading or some sort of inspirational teaching around your self-growth and your business growth. And then we're going to move into a mantra for the month. So something that you can actually take away from that reading to allow you to be reminded to take that insight and put it into action in your life. And then we're going to move into a meditation to bring you into a state of quiet. And then after that, we're going to be looking at a certain question, a spiritual insight that will be a good foundation for your business moving forward. Always putting business back into the context of a spiritual path is really important because there's so many challenges along the way that if we don't think of it that way, when we hit obstacles, it can be so easy to just want to quit. So that's what that section is about for us. Oh, and I forgot to say, we're actually going to sing. If you don't know, Beth is a kirtan singer, and I just happen to love singing. So we're going to do either kirtan every time or some sacred songs. So we're going to be doing about 3 rounds every single time that we get together, so you'll get the opportunity to actually learn some songs. And then we're going to finish off with some homework every month. And basically when you go back to the inner circle, the forum that we've created for you, there's a journal exercise associated with every moon cycle that will help you to, when you get off the call, go deeper into your visioning for the month so that you can get really clear on what needs to be dropped and shift, and then put on paper, get it out of your head and onto paper, the changes that you want to make in your life. And then you actually have something to continue to go back to. When you look through, the last 6 months or 12 months, you can see whether you're making progress or not. You can see whether you're, complaining about things but not changing them, or whether you're actually systematically making shifts in your life, whether, the obstacles that you have, they need to be something that you need to take action on or something that you need to release in your life. So that's what you can expect moving forward on these new moon hangouts. And I'll turn it over to Beth.
Beautiful, Sherry. This is really the the love child of Sherry. So as long as I've known you, you have taught me to be tuned in to the moon cycles, even though as women we kind of naturally are. There's something I noticed that in tuning into the moon cycles, it's often just affirming, like, oh, I'm already doing the right thing, or I already feel like doing the right thing is actually more often the case.
Yes, yes.
So I'm so grateful for it. It's as if the moon gives you permission. It's like, of course, you know, I feel totally reflective. I feel, you know, it's a little bit opposite the energy that we're doing to put out here, but it's, of course, for extremely good cause of meeting in the space of reflection rather than, because the tendency could be to go negative on ourselves, right? It's time to, we see too much about ourselves, we start beating ourselves up, we want to hide, we're no longer going to come out with those messages that we have been giving all month long, especially in business, right? It's all about shouting out and saying how great everything is and how wonderful. And at this time of the month in your business, you're like, oh, I hope nobody sees me today. Never mind, like in front of a video and stuff like that. So I had a really fun time to choose the reading for this this section, and I was drawn to a book by Marion Woodman. It's actually a compilation between both Robert Bly and Marion Woodman. She's one of my favorite thinkers, and she's a beautiful writer. Are you familiar with this book, Sherry?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I'm really surprising you then.
Yeah.
And Marion Woodman, I tuned into her work when I was struggling with cancer, and in the 3 years that I was fighting for my life, Marion Woodman spoke very deeply because she speaks through archetypes, which is a big fascination, as you know, of mine. She speaks through story so that it actually can't be figured out.
Oh, nice.
It comes to us in a much deeper place. You can't, like, I was trying to figure it out last night because, like, does this make sense, and is this copacetic and in the right brain way? And I'm like, no, it's just actually meant to wash over you. Now I'm going to dive into a place where this is a story that both Robert Bly and Marion Woodman are writing. I do highly recommend this book, by the way, if you can read it. It looks backwards, doesn't it? It's called...
Oh, it looks normal to me.
It does? Oh, good. Okay, right on.
Yeah.
It's called The Maiden King. And it's a story, I'm not going to fill you in all the details, but just give a little bit of a context. It's a story about Ivan. And Ivan is walking through his life and the forest and the trials and the tribulations, and he meets a number of different characters along the way, including the wise Baba Yaga, who is giving him direction, and Ivan falls in love with the Maiden Tsar. And she represents this, like, beautiful, vital, very young, very vibrant, somewhat explosive, passionate love energy. And Ivan is trying to get it. And he wants it. And he's going to journey for it. And he's going to go through this eye of the needle for it. And he's going to, you know, straddle these worlds for it and do all this stuff. But at every turn when he appears to be getting and having, he gets pricked by the pin of forgetfulness, and he goes to sleep. And for 3 lifetimes, he misses the Maiden Tsar. It's completely like, no. Just goes to sleep, right? And it's such a beautiful thing for a woman to see, because, you know, it's really the dance of the masculine and the feminine energy that's happening there. And so the masculine very easily goes to sleep to the feminine. Because once you truly meet the feminine, then you're going to have to contend with her. You might have to contain her. You might have to get into much more control than you've ever even imagined possible before. So I find the story even more exciting than I have, and I've been reading it for 10 years already. So we're entering the story quite far into the journey, and it's when Ivan is as if meeting the crone. Now, the crone is an archetype that represents us, the Maiden Tsar, having grown up and gone into her place of much more power. So she has learned to contain. She has learned to actually create some balance in the life. She's become stern but immensely loving, way more loving than she could ever have been in that maiden position. And so Ivan we'll just jump right in here with the reading. It's about a 5 or 7 minute, and you can just relax. You know, if you're watching and you want to just close your eyes and soak it in. Again, dropping out of that thinking mind about figuring it out. This is just to be absorbed. So Ivan walked and walked till he came to a little hut. How many years are in walked and walked? During that time, he has civilized the energy of the Baba Yaga into crone energy. Not that the Baba will never again appear, but in the crone, her wisdom is less volcanic. Taming that energy takes years of conscious living and conscious sacrifice. To be able to speak directly from center with an honesty that clarifies even as it horrifies is the genius of the clown, who is very much a part of the crone. Many aging people have this quality, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. And Marion is saying, Robert, the author here, and I sometimes launch into singing this crone song with sheer exuberance of two old crones. And the song goes, an aged man is but a paltry thing, a tattered coat upon a stick, unless soul clasp its hands and sing, and louder sing, for every tatter in its mortal dress. The journey to cronedom begins with a commitment to finding one's own life. It has nothing to do with a fast leap into enlightenment. Cronedom is based on the solid work of a lifetime. Gradually over the years, the commitment loses its push-pull quality. It no longer comes from the ego desire. Rather, it comes from a place deep inside that lets go. As Christ said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. In our core, we know we are and what path we are meant to be on. We know who we are and what path we are meant to be on. We know that when we're on the path, we don't need to focus on the future goal. The goal is here in the present. The moment is. The process is all in the pleasure of the journey. This face before me, these lips, these nostrils flaring, these eyes. This concentration and surrender. This intensity without tension. The crone knows she's in the right place and knows that place requires all the strength that she has, all the courage she has, all the common sense she has to stay on the road. No need to be striving toward a goal. The crone appears in our dreams when we have surrendered our ego ideas of where we are going and what we should be doing to reach that goal. Discipline has become part of fine-tuning our bodies and perceptions. We are surrendered instruments being played by the mystery. Receptivity is being still, alert to what is coming to us from inside and outside, listening with inner ear, seeing with inner eye, knowing we no longer know everything, if anything. The day we know that in our bones is a birthday, a new day. The young feminine that we were in our late teens, early 20s often appears in dreams in her full embodiment, glowing with energy, hair flying, striding like a gypsy into her own life. As her energy meets crone energy, physical strength may pour into the aging body. Delight shines in the crone who feels the freedom of young womanhood united with the freedom of letting go. Challenge is opportunity to wake up, to recognize whatever pins, that's the pin, the bits of denial, they're called, are still blocking her energy. Her soul is singing. The crone knows the truth has set her free. She believes it can set others free. She's not willing to please for the sake of pleasing. I can say what I think, be who I am. If people think I'm a funny old thing, no matter. I'm glad to be who I am. Nor is she looking for applause, because she has no expectations. She suffers few disappointments. Always somewhere in the deepest hems of her skirts, she carries her Baba Yaga mortar and pestle. Every day she will need them to process new energy. She knows that all the information in her head, all the rationalizations, all the polarities, all will have to be ground through her crucible if they are to be embodied in her sacred body. Her big tears and her big Buddha laugh make her a good companion for life. She brings strength to face what is to be faced with vulnerability and wide-awake fact. What is happening now is meant to be happening now. If we are walking through the valley of the shadow, we know we are present where we are. If we are in waiting, we wait until we begin to see the constellation lining up without our trying to make it so. Eventually, all comes into place, and we know it is time to do what is to be done.
Be a crone in your business.
Exactly. That's so what came to me. And to get out of that place where we feel like we're striving and we've got this so-called goal, but all it really is some, it's being driven by lack. It's being driven by not having, right? So, if there's a mantra in here that I would pull out, is seeing with the inner eye, listening with the inner ear, coming to us from inside and outside, being alert to that, and knowing that we no longer know everything, if anything. And the day we know that in our bones is a birthday.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's a scary and a opening moment when we recognize that we get to that point where we just don't know anymore. I remember getting to that point with, in the old days as a nutritionist. There was honest to God, in my 20s, I swear to God, I thought I knew everything. I had this whole healing health thing figured out. And then I got to this place, it's like, wow, I know nothing about what is true healing, right? Of which nutrition is only one aspect. And it was a scary but enlightening moment as well, because then you realize there is so much more out there to be known. And that's exciting, right? Every time a new paradigm is in front of us, it opens up another journey, another adventure in front of us. But I really love that that passage. It feels like to really just look at every challenge that comes up in your business as, how would a crone handle this?
Exactly.
If I'm coming from my crone self, how would I be with this?
Yeah, and approaching every moment with alertness, whether it's a moment that's bubbling up from within us, or it's a moment that is coming delivered as circumstances or relationships or people or all that kind of stuff, and surrendering to the ultimate mystery, right? Giving up the figuring it out, just going actually, I'm never going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And don't have to beat myself up for wasting my whole life doing that, but right now it's
Oh yeah. It's so much. You just lose a lot less energy to the things that stress you out when you allow yourself to just trust that when you step into the next moment, whatever you need is going to be there.
Yes.
It's
yes.
Something I got to learn just recently about myself, because a lot of times moving into putting a lot of things on my plate and doing new things, what I would often try to do was control it, try to get super over prepared so that it would be perfect, so that I could come across in the way I want to come across, not maybe as not knowing or not having myself together. And because I put so much on my plate in the last 4 months, I actually had to completely release on all that and just trust that no matter what I'm stepping into, whoever I need to be in that moment is just going to come through me. It's not about preparing in advance. As an example for this, new moon circle, we have a flow to it, but there's no real plan. It's open for how it flows. And in my younger self, I would not be able to do that. I would have had to control every minute. This is going to happen, then this is going to happen, and then, and that's so draining. It is so, it's just so much easier to just trust that you wouldn't be on the path that you're on and actually not be provided for if it's the right path for you. So if you know you're on the right path, you can trust that the universe will put in front of you whatever you need moving forward, and you don't have to figure that out before you get there. You just take the step and trust. You just have a new moon circle and trust. Or whatever it is in your business, you know, that you're over preparing for. Just let it go.
Yeah, and
just show up.
And if we approach every situation with such a, you know, clear, now it's going to fly in the face of, because Sherry and I are always teaching the masculine and the feminine coexisting in one, right? So we're going to teach you to set goals. We're going to teach you to be actually really crystal clear, right down to the dollar amount that you want to be taking in on a monthly basis in your business. So it's going to coexist with this meeting every day with totally fresh alertness, and guess why? So that it could be better, even better than what you imagine. Right, so that the magic could happen. So you could allow the mystery and the magic to do. So you're just allowing, you're being in that receptive place with the feminine. But it's not the feminine by itself, because if you read further in here, and I hope you do, you'll see that the feminine out of balance, first of all, the masculine out of balance, it's that just total sleep unconsciousness, right? That's what happens with the masculine without the feminine is basically dead. Now the feminine without the masculine devours the masculine. Just goes into this like, I'm gonna eat you alive, and I don't care about you. I don't love you. So it's forever this dance, and then to be able to move fluidly between those, to me is totally the Femme-Preneur way. That's what we're doing here. Neither rejecting either part of us.
Yes. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to move into some singing, Beth?
All right, that sounds good.
Or were we going to do a meditation? No, it was singing and then meditation.
That's right.
That makes more sense, right? We'll build some energy, and then we'll go into relaxation.
Exactly. And actually, I wonder if I just put the words here in the chat. If anybody's watching and wants to sing along, then we're going to sing a mantra that is Om Shrim Maha Lakshmi, and Swaha as well. So this is going to sound, I'm just going to see if this will, yay, there you go. Om Shrim Maha Lakshmi. It's actually Lakshmi. So you just have to remember that when you sing it, it's Lakshmi. Om Shrim Maha Lakshmi Swaha. Just to give you a tiny bit of background, I studied in India a number of years. I made 8 trips there, and mantra was of huge fascination to me, because the Sanskrit language has a resonance that the English language doesn't. And it allows me, actually very much what we were talking about, it allows me that experience of the masculine and the feminine in one, because it's compelling beauty, it's mesmerizing, it's hypnotic, the language itself. And yet if you look at it, it's extremely mathematical, and it's scientific, and it's very precise. Even with the English language, you can do all kinds of things. You hear opera, and they hold a note just because that's where they want to hold it, and they want to emphasize and for the drama and stuff like that. Whereas Sanskrit language is more like a mathematical formula for creating a specific effect. Like when you put a key in a hole and you turn it, and the door opens. So when you have that right key and the door opens, but if you just like maybe just poke at it with a stick, nothing good's going to happen to you. You're not going to get through the door. So this Om Shri Mahalakshmi, this has been with me for many, many years, and it's a tribute to this goddess Lakshmi. She represents the embodiment of abundance, prosperity, and good health. So this is one that in any woman's business, you will want to have Lakshmi accompanying you. You already have Lakshmi accompanying you. And then by chanting this mantra, you are bringing it into your conscious awareness, but as if not just bringing it in from outside, really it's like you are, as Lakshmi, you are singing this Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Swaha. Swaha being the celebration. It's like the self alone is. I chant this sound of Om, the seed syllable of my own source, my own creation. Shrim Mahalakshmi, this revered goddess who brings all abundance, who is the carrier of good health and well-being. This is the self. This is who we are. We're not calling this in. We are calling as this. Is the meaning of this mantra. So it's great to know the meaning of what you're singing. And as you're singing, imagine that visualize that you are actually putting abundance into the world by doing this, that you are offering what it is that you have, and you're showering the world with this feeling of prosperity, and the actual results of that prosperity, whatever it translates in the mystery to be.
Beautiful.
And so you can just sing along, and the melody changes a little bit. You'll get to know it. It's on one of my CDs if you'd like to hear it. So it goes like this: Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Swaha. Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmiye Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmiye Swaha. It goes up a little bit. Om Shri Mahalakshmiye Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmiye Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmiye Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmiye Swaha. And there's another part that goes with this. I'm going to put it in the chat here. Om Shantaye Namaha. And that is praying to this goddess in the form of peace. So this abundance goes from, in that theme of going from the maiden sar to the crone. So going from this explosive energy into a containment, into a peaceful container that has this, like the peace with no lack of peace, the happiness with no sorrow. It goes like this. Om Shantaye Namaha. 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 Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful space. I can't tell exactly if we have a delay on the sounds or anything like that, but we'll find out for sure.
I know. That's true. Could be interesting. Oh, funny. Okay. So you're going to lead us through a meditation, Beth?
Sure, I will do that. So you can just allow your eyes to rest closed. And you can let your body rest in any way possible as well. If you're sitting, I recommend sitting with a nice full long spine so that you can drop your sit bones down and connect with your chair or with the earth that is beneath your chair. And just feel that supportive energy of the ground, of the earth, of that feminine energy that's literally holding you in her hands. And you can allow your hands to rise with the palms facing upward. And just like the earth is offering her support, we'll mimic that. And just notice the world that we're holding in our hands. Maybe it's our family, our children, our clients, our community, our intentions, our goals, our dreams, our wants, our desires. And at this time, we're going to make it an offering. And we're going to freely pass this energy into the heart of this goddess, Lakshmi, who is going to take it straight to God with no distractions, no delays, utterly fearless, going to lay these gifts at the hand of that masculine divine. So they can be in this dance together, because as soon as this Lakshmi, this goddess, offers everything to the divine, then the god runs at the goddess and fills her up with love and pleasure and inspiration and the will to go out into the world and do more amazing goodness for no reason at all. Not motivated by fear or wanting or need or lack, or that anything is wrong, just for the sheer joy of being. And she's going to get so filled up and have so much experience of being showered with wealth and prosperity and good health that she's going to be so humbled. Her hands are going to be so heavy with her riches that she will have no other choice but to let all of those riches again fall from her hands back to the feet of the divine. And as she becomes absorbed by the divine, enveloped and held, she disappears momentarily, allowing herself to die to that divine, only to be reborn again, so much greater than she could ever imagine if she held on to those gifts. And as you feel yourself in that dance, knowing that dance takes place inside of you every moment, and that your only true job here on earth is to awaken to that and to dance willingly and to have fun with it and to see the game in it. And even that story, even this beautiful imagery and story, now fearlessly allowing yourself to let it go. Letting that excitement go, let the happiness go. Let the peace go. And dissolve and surrender once again to your source. to knowing nothing, to having nothing, to being no one. And if you like, you can place your hands over your heart with the palms facing down. And feeling grateful for this time that you've given for yourself, taken for yourself. Knowing that you are giving a great deal through it. And then to close the meditation, we can just fold the palms now together over the heart, pressing the palms inward, taking a long, full, deep breath, expanding the spine. And if you like, you can take your arms all the way up overhead too, and just have a nice long stretch, a little side to side. I always feel like I'm waking up fresh again.
Mm-hmm.
Get a new chance at the day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That was great.
Pleasure.
All right, so now that we've raised some energy and we've gone into a meditative place to move out of the mind, that's to make space for what's truly present for us, so that we can move into the exercise from a place of our heart, and bring forth what's really true for us, what's authentic for us. So the exercise for this new moon hangout today is to really look at what is the thing that motivates you to fulfill the dreams and the desires that you have for yourself. To look at what is it that's that important to you, that no matter what, you're not going to crash and give up and have to start over again. What is it for you that makes doing your business an absolute yes, no matter what obstacle stands in your way? What is that for you? So in this moment, because it's the new moon, you may actually be agitated by some of those things, those challenges in your business. You may not. You may actually feel in a place of flow right now with your work. But inevitably, we all hit obstacles. We all have challenges on the path. So what is it for you that what are you going to tell yourself the next time you have an obstacle in front of you, when you want to give up? What is it that no matter what is going to motivate you and inspire you to keep going and to move past your obstacles and blockages to the other side of them so that you can have the life you want? And I'll share what it is for me. I'll wait till the phone stops ringing.
I'm sorry.
How many rings do you have there? That's okay.
Just 3.
This is real life.
I'm not getting it.
So for me, yeah, don't get it. So for me, when I hit those obstacles, literally every single time when I feel like I want to give up, there's 2 things that come forward for me. And one is that I want to be a role model for my children. And how that arises in me is the feeling that when I overcome the challenges and obstacles that are in front of me, I pave the way for them to step into whatever those challenges are for me without having that struggle. As though when I overcome it, then I know they don't have to, because I've actually already walked that path for them. However, if I stay in the place of my struggle, they are going to have to meet that pain too. They're going to have to get through that and be stopped on their path or held back in the process and struggling with that pain. And as mothers, I mean, that's the worst thing that I can imagine, is the idea of my child struggling in some way. I remember when my son Isaiah was born, and I was looking at him and holding him and seeing his beauty and his innocence and thinking, oh my God, like someday this beautiful innocent baby is going to experience pain and I can't control. I can't be there to protect everything. But there is something that we can do as mothers, and that's heal our own shit. And when we do that, we actually heal it for the generations that come after us. And we heal it for our mothers that didn't get through the obstacle. It's like it moves in all directions so that we can actually move into a different kind of world. And so whenever I hit that block, that's exactly what I think of. It's like there's nothing that could motivate me to move through it that is material. There's no like amount of money, there's no amount of success, there's no amount of appreciation, approval, nothing in that moment when you're feeling like you want to actually throw the towel in. Because when you're experiencing obstacles in your business and you want to throw the towel in, it's because we think that if we throw the towel in, well, we know actually from experience, having thrown the towel in the past, because all of us have done this, is that we experience an immediate sense of relief. And that's exactly what we're seeking, is an immediate experience of relief. But every single time you let yourself fall apart and give up and fall down, it's that much harder to build it all back up again. So the reason why this is such a crucial piece of building a successful business is because you need to have that thing that no matter what obstacle you face is going to get you through, is going to motivate you. So in that moment, I say to myself, I will move past this because I want to move past this for my children, because of the life that I want I want to make it easier for them. I don't want them to struggle the way I'm struggling in this exact moment. And I'll do anything to move through that so that they don't have to. And it's different for every person, but you have to find that thing that no matter what, if you remind yourself in that moment of that thing, you'll be able to keep moving forward. It's like it gives you a boost, like it's worth it. This challenge is worth moving through because it's for my children. Because sometimes we don't have that necessarily that feeling for ourselves, right? Because in the moment, all we want is relief from the pain.
Beautiful, Sherry. Exactly, and that I think that reason will evolve. So allowing yourself to, you're at a place your children are young, and then when they're grown, no doubt it will be a different reason that will come up.
That's right.
But to keep that, it's probably very much the very same essence. Now you're ushering a new generation into the world, and yeah, I feel that same way too. It's like, if I was to just lay down and quit, what kind of an example would I be setting for my child, and then also for my community, right? That if they see me fall down, and I mean, I've done that. I've been there. I've fallen down so big. I really cut out. Had to cut out of everything, quit everything, and I got to a place where I consciously chose, instead of being unconsciously driven. We never really choose life. It happens without us really knowing it. And in fact, we did choose, but we forgot. And then it comes to that place where that motherhood and businesshood often they kill you, right? They kill your ego. They kill your concepts. They kill that thing that you think is what you're doing and why you're doing it, and are forever going to bring you back down to that humble core of what it is that you're exactly meant to create on earth. And so you have this ability to, I never think about quitting anymore. I never, ever, 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 ever think about quitting anymore. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's my relationship with my partner, my relationship with my son, or my relationship with my business. It evolves continuously. More and more. There seems to be more and more fluidity in the process. But I would just never, ever quit, because it is, to me, at the base level, what it is to me that keeps it interesting is that it is incredible food for evolving the soul. Every day that I meet myself in my business, in my relationships, in my family, and it gives me an opportunity to be aware to a next level, even though it could be very well painful or sometimes even devastating. I had a really intense day yesterday in my business. Intense. I thought my head was going to go off. But do I feel like quitting today? No. Did I say to Sherry, oh, I can't do a new moon hangout today because I just feel like curling up in a ball and disappearing from the world? Sure, that's there. I hear that. I hear that voice, but it doesn't have airplay anymore. I'm not sitting there going, oh, should I or shouldn't I? So just so you know, if you get to that place of, or if you're still in that feeling of deliberating, what is deliberating? It's deliberating. It's literally not being free. So what if it was like the crone giving themselves over? It's so beautiful how it's said, giving themselves over to the difficulties. She's not willing to please for the sake of pleasing anymore. And it's not about the pleasure. That she has to, every day, she has to take her mortar and pestle to process new energy. Every day, every day, every day. But that's like the new pleasure, right? That's the new, beyond all the rationalization, beyond all the polarities. That's being grounded and entering into a whole new kind of sacred body. That what's to quit on? There's no quitting. Even if you quit, there's no quitting. You can't get out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why it's just a feeling of relief. It's temporary. That satisfaction of quitting is so very temporary. It's, basically what's going to happen is you're going to face the same obstacle again anyways, so you might as well do it now for yourself and for your children and your children's children and your ancestors. Just do it now. Move through it.
That's it. So that chaos that keeps happening, that is as if the cause of your quitting, it's not the cause of your quitting. It's your quitting is the cause of that chaos.
Yeah, willing to entertain the thought of quitting. Exactly. Yeah, it brings it in. I mean, the mind, it looks for reasons to justify doing that. That's pretty, it's natural for us to fall into it. But one of the things that, we're getting close to the end of the hour here, but one of the other things that is very helpful for me personally is the fact that when I create my business, I create a business that matters to me on multiple levels, that it's part of my life. So it'd be quitting on my life, right? Like it'd be quitting on my passions, the way like I want to show up in the world and what I want to bring and who I want to connect to, and it just wouldn't make any sense to quit. And one of the things I think about is if you're doing something that you love that much, then you look at it like it's your child and you don't ever give up on it. It's a permanent relationship for life because it's actually your soul's calling, just the same way as the relationship you have to your children. There's a tie, emotional tie there for a lifetime. So choose to be in a business that you feel that connected to. That is, to me, like the second thing that is very helpful. It's not necessarily a mindset. It's a choice of how you create your business in the first place. And then on top of that, you have that reason why, that no matter what, you're going to make it through the obstacles and have the business that you want. And so we have about 5 minutes left. So I think unless there's anything else you wanted to add, Beth, I was going to share the homework for the journal exercise. Did you have anything else?
Just one quick thing I have to say is that
I could feel it.
So it's not just that we get to do whatever we want. It's that we must do whatever we want. And it's for exactly the reason that Sherry was saying. So this, to really turning it around, it's like doing what we want is an obligation. This is part of the crone growing up and wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you give up on what you want to do? It doesn't make any sense, right? So do what you want. You'll never give up, even if the going gets tough. So basically, at the end of all of these hangouts that we have together as a new moon circle, what you can do next is go to the Femme-Preneur Love Inner Circle, and there's a post there, a blog post that it says New Moon Circle, and underneath it is a place where you can open a download, and it's a journal exercise that you can process. So now you step away from, we've come together to create sacred spaces of sisterhood, and now it's time for you to go inward. And print up this journal exercise. You can work on it on your computer or do it on paper, and just go through the exercises every single new moon to give yourself the opportunity to look at what's serving you, what's not serving you, and how you can actually look at the what you want to create instead for the next 4 weeks moving forward. And so one of the things that I just want to point, I'm not going to go through every exercise in this circle, because you can go and actually download it and have a look and do the work there. But one of the questions that, or one of the distinctions that I just want to bring up is there's a section that asks you what you want and desire, but then there's another question that asks you, how do you actually want to feel? Like, what is it that when you think you want that thing in your life, what is the feeling you think it's going to bring you? And so one of the reasons why this is so important is because, number one, that's only why we want things anyways, is we're just trying to have a good feeling. That's what we want, right? Is to feel good. But secondly, because sometimes you may have dreams that seem so far away that they seem impossible. And in order to have what you want, you actually have to get into the energy of feeling that you already have it. So what in your life could you do right now with the resources you have right now currently that can give you the exact same feeling that you imagine having with a big dream? And then that's what you actually put into action for the next 4 weeks. And that helps you to get into the vibration of having the big stuff by starting with the small, appreciating the feeling of creating the smallness for yourself. Because like I said, it's not just the big thing we want, it's the feeling we want with it. So you can create that feeling out of nowhere. You can create it in your own home. There's something in your life that you actually already have access to that can give you that feeling now. So find that thing and make sure that you make space for that in your life so that you can stay in that place of having and attract more of what you want. And so then the other thing is that we have a thread there in the forum. So you can actually share with us your insights from the journal exercise. Let us know what your vision is moving forward and some of your goals so that we can hold the space for you and see you in the light of what it is that you truly intend to create in your life from your authentic self, not from who you've been in the past. And that's really one of the most important things about having a circle like this of women, because the people in your life right now that have known you in the past, they are projecting the same you into your future. And sometimes they can't see you for who you've become or who you really are. And so in a circle like this, it's a great opportunity to be seen in the light of who you really are. So share that with us in the forum so that we can witness you and hold the space for that.
Beautiful.
All right. Anything else, Beth, before we go?
Just that it's been a total pleasure. Total pleasure.
Nice. All right, well, have a happy new moon, and we'll see you in 4 weeks. Bye now.
Bye for now.
It takes a lot of love everything. It takes a lot of love to be everywhere. It takes a lot of love to be right here.